I'm going to show you guys how to crochet this knit stitch. It is a crochet stitch, but it's called the knit stitch because it looks a little bit like knitting. This stitch is also commonly known as the waistcoat stitch and the center single crochet. I love this stitch for home decor like baskets or stockings. I've used it on the border of a blanket before, but it is a very dense and heavy stitch, so I don't recommend it exclusively for something like a throw. Now you can get started with a chain of any number of stitches. It doesn't matter if they're odd or even. There's no multiples, it's just any amount that works for you and the project that you're working on. For row 1, we're going to single crochet into each chain, starting from the second chain from hook. So work your first single crochet into the second chain from hook and just single crochet on down the chain. When you reach the end of the chain, work that final single crochet into the last chain. And that is row 1. Now chain 1 and turn. And row 2 is really where the knit stitch begins. So the knit stitch is just a variation of a single crochet. This is how you work a normal single crochet. That is not what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be putting our hook into a different spot in the stitch in the row below, and doing that while working a single crochet is going to create a different look. So if you see here, it's hardest to see on the first stitch in the row, but in your single crochets, there are little upside down V's or like little triangles. See the triangles? They're like arrows pointing up in each stitch. At the top of them, there's that horizontal line going across. That's where we're going to put our hook. So in the first stitch, it's really just half a triangle, so it's the hardest one to see. But you'll put your hook into that triangle, and then otherwise just work a normal single crochet. So that's just what you're going to be doing into every stitch. So look for that V. It's like an arrow pointing up, and that's where you insert your crochet hook. It can be really tight and hard to wiggle through for this stitch, and otherwise just work a normal single crochet. Again, put your hook into that V, that upside down V, triangle, whatever you want to call it, and work a single crochet. Look for that triangle. That's where we're going to put our hook. Work your single crochet. This is a really dense stitch. It creates a really thick fabric and it's a little bit stretchy. Look for that triangle. That's where we're going to insert our hook and work a single crochet. Put your hook into the triangle and work a single crochet. So that's what row 2 is going to look like. I'm going to fast forward now and show you row 3 and what that will look like. You're working it exactly like row 2, it's just that the stitches look a little bit different because you're working into your knit stitches instead of your single crochets. So when you reach the end of this row, you're just going to chain 1 and turn, because we're just working single crochets, just another variation of the single crochet. So the turning works the same as with single crochets. So we're moving on to a more established square that I've been working on so that you can see what this stitch looks like after you have lots of rows done. This is a beautiful stitch, and like I said, it's really stretchy, it's really sturdy. It would make a great rug. I've used it for baskets, coasters, pot holders. So moving on to row 3, it's exactly like row 2, except for I think since we're working over knit stitches instead of just regular single crochets, it's easier to see where the V's are. So you can look and see how those are a little bit more defined. So in the first stitch, it's still hard to see because it's like half of a triangle or half of an upside down V. So that's where you're going to put your hook and then just work a normal single crochet. And then the next stitch is just the same. You're putting your hook into that triangle. Just look for that space with the upside down V and the little line across, and that's where you're going to put your hook and work a normal single crochet. So you'll just keep working your stitches like that down this row, and that is how you create the knit stitch or the waistcoat stitch, also known as the center single crochet. I like to call it the center single crochet because it describes better how to work the stitch. It's just a single crochet. You're just working it into the center of the stitch instead of the top 2 loops. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. If it was, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. I release new stitch tutorials every week. You can also find shorter forms of my tutorials on TikTok if you are over on TikTok. I'm at modern_made, and all my patterns are on Etsy. My shop name is Modern Made Shop.